The 2021 Auditor General's report has already engendered mixed reactions among finance and governance experts. Infractions have reached some 17 billion Ghana cedis from 12 billion Ghana cedis, as noted by the Auditor General in its 2020 findings. But for many observers, it is the inability to have internal auditors meet overall objectives of reducing leakages within the public sector that should be prioritized. Dr. Eric Odruosai is the Director General for the Internal Audit Agency.
When you look at the management of the District Assembly's Common Fund, irregularities has reduced by 14.3%, and that is about 11 million, which is worthy of commendation. When you come to MDAs, however, it has also reduced by 47.3%. But the big figures there are still the tax irregularities. These things that the Auditor General is reporting, we saw it a year ago because we receive quarterly internal audit reports and then we work with audit committees to push management to implement the recommendations. The challenge we have is that our legislation is weak. So even if we push management to implement the recommendation and they are not implementing, we are powerless. We have to go through another institution to get management to implement it, which gives us a tall order and laced with administrative bureaucracy. So if really government wants to reduce some of these things, and we are reducing, government should pass the law for us.
While these audit reports ultimately end up before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, they are always in arrears, by which time these infractions would have long taken place and culprits almost left off the hook. Committee member Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed admits that is being worked on, but also raises concerns about the individuals and groups of public officers, including judges, who seem to be perpetrators of infractions and abuse of the Financial Management Act and other anti-graft laws.
The reason why this is worrying is we are not talking about ordinary citizens. We are talking about justices, and more so justices of the Superior Court. The Auditor General says they should return those vehicles, and that process was completely null and void. And I think it should be a worry to all of us. So even though we are not looking at 2021 report now, but because it's a public document, and let's get something very clear. We live in a democracy. No state institution is above the law, not even the Chief Justice. We are all witnesses to the CDD report. In fact, the Afrobarometer identified the judiciary to be one of the most corrupt institutions in this country. Now, people can say the politicians are corrupt. Yes, people can talk about the executive is corrupt. But when you talk about corruption within the judiciary, and people say, don't go there.
It is not all external audit recommendations that will lead to disallowance. So some of the recommendations he gives, no disallowance. But we should also be fair to the Auditor General that before you go to court for disallowance and surcharge, you should have adequate audit evidence to support your case. We have been in this country where the previous Auditor General went to court and disallowed an amount that was paid to a private firm. The court ruled that the Auditor General's mandate does not extend to a private individual. It extends to only state institutions. So I think that the present Auditor General is being cautious in applying the disallowance and the surcharge regime. But I will encourage him to do a due diligence analysis of all the recommendations he's made.